Let's go, baby! Let's freaking go!
Here's the 1-2. Thomas, fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away, and the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
Explode on the verge of making it all happen. There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers, Yankees in the Fall Classic.
Let's go, baby! Let's freaking go! This has been 7 years in the making. 7 years of this dream of having Yankees versus Dodgers World Series. That was my dream. But unfortunately, back in 2017, when this dream first happened, it got robbed by the Houston Astros. The Dodgers were in the World Series. The Yankees needed to win Game 7, but they were robbed by the Houston Astros. I was heartbroken. I never, ever thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever see this World Series happen. Came close again in 2018, but no. 2019. No. 2020 came close. No. 2021? No. Last year, Dodgers made the playoffs. Yankees did it? No. This year, here we are, baby. We get Yankees versus Dodgers. Los Angeles versus New York. Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani. Two of baseball's most iconic franchises going at it. You got Soto, you got Freeman, you got Mookie, you got Yamamoto, you got Anthony Rizzo. I mean, you've got the stars are everywhere. And also, here's the thing that everybody forgets from this matchup. You have, ladies and gentlemen, you have two managers that have been criticized nonstop, that have been given tons of grief. Everybody wants them fired. You have those two managers, Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts, two of the most criticized managers in all of baseball, going at it. This is going to be the most legendary World Series of our lifetimes. This is going to be absolutely epic, absolutely insane. It's going to be legendary. It's going to be awesome, man. I don't want to hear stuff about small markets. Oh, we need to have more small markets involved. No, we don't. I don't want no small markets involved. Give me Yankees, Dodgers all day, every day over any small market matchup, over any other matchup. This is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. It's a heavyweight fight. New York versus LA, two of the biggest markets in all of sports going at it. It's going to be so much fun. The star power, everything, the both lineups, it's gonna be freaking amazing. I cannot wait for it, man. And I see my guy Loro Antonio here is on the program. First, Loro, welcome into this emergency reaction show. We get Yankees Dodgers World Series. I want to congratulate you on your Dodgers making it to the World Series, man. What an accomplishment. After years of choking, you guys have finally made it, man. But man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to do another show later in the week to preview the World Series. But, man, before I give it to you, I just want to tell everybody this. Don't bother me during this entire World Series. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't reach out to me, because here's the thing. I'm going to watch every hour, every minute, and every second of this World Series, including pregame and postgame, and every radio interview, TV interview leading up to this World Series, because that's how epic it's going to be, man. I cannot wait for it, man. Loro, I hope you share my excitement as well. Congratulations to your Dodgers. Feel free to talk about your Dodgers winning the NLCS, but man, it's going to be an amazing World Series, my friend.
It is going to be an amazing World Series, Isaiah. First off, before I talk all about the Dodgers, I want to send my congratulations to the New York Mets. Carlos Mendoza did everything he could to get the Mets where they were. No one thought the New York Mets would make a run that they made to the NLCS. Grimace, oh my God, that brought them luck. But you know what? The Dodgers were the better team. The Mets were no match for the Dodgers. Everybody wanted a Subway Series, Isaiah. But you know what? This was the dream World Series that I have. Yankees, Dodgers, Judge, Betts, Ohtani, Soto, Cole, Yamamoto. I think this is going to be an epic World Series. But let me tell you my early prediction. I think the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 7 games. I think Shohei Ohtani is the World Series MVP.
Bro, if that goes the way that you're predicting it, man, that's going to be an amazing World Series because 7 games, Judge versus Shohei in game 7. I mean, that would just be like bonkers and it would literally break the world. That's how crazy it's going to be. But man, congrats to your Dodgers. I think like talking about the NLCS, I think the Dodgers were definitely the better team. I mean, the Mets, look, they had a great season. They really played well. Their pitchers that you didn't expect to have great seasons really stepped up. I mean, Sean Manaea was tremendous. He had a bounce back year. I think David Stearns is a guy who's known for having a really good pitching lab to fix broken pitchers, and Sean Manaea definitely benefited from that. Jose Quintana is another guy. He looked really good in New York. He's looked the best he's ever looked in his entire career with the Mets. He definitely rejuvenated himself. Luis Severino also, he rejuvenated himself. And then how about David Peterson? I mean, he came out of nowhere and basically looked like a shutdown ace. So just fantastic by the Mets. But I think in the end, the Dodgers lineup was just way too much. The Mets, they were a great story, but the Dodgers were definitely the beast of the National League. And you know, their lineup, everybody stepped up, not just the stars, but but Edman. You had Andy Pajes step up. I mean, everybody just top to bottom just stepped up. And that's why I think the Dodgers won, because in the end, the Mets needed contributions from the supporting cast like Winker and other players, but they just didn't get it. After game 2, the Dodgers basically shut them down, shut the supporting cast down, and the stars just basically had no support after that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. But, you know, Laurel, I think now as we turn our attention to the World Series, you know, both of these managers, like Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts, they have been criticized heavily. They have both, you know, been, a lot of people have suggested that they should be fired, especially after past postseason disappointments. Well, first of all, I'm really proud for both of these managers, Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts, because I don't think both of them deserve to lose their jobs. I know both teams had bad postseasons and seasons in the past, but now they've redeemed themselves. This is like the ultimate redemption story. That's why I'm really happy for those two. But I think as we go to this World Series, I think the Dodgers and we'll provide like a little quick analysis of it and maybe a quick prediction before we get into our Yankees Dodgers World Series preview show that'll come your way maybe like Wednesday or Thursday night, who knows. But when you look at this World Series, Laurel, I think that these two teams really are like a mirror of both of each other. Like they're a mirror images of both of each other. Like they both have superstars on both sides of the ball. Yankees with Judge and Soto, and then Dodgers with Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman on the offensive side. And then on the pitching side, you have Yamamoto, you have Jack Flaherty. For the Yankees, they have Garrett Cole. And then you know, both of these two teams, when you look at their rotations for this series, and that's why it's going to be very interesting, because both of these two teams, they have two top-notch starters, the Dodgers with Yamamoto and Flaherty, and the Yankees with Garrett Cole, they have Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. But after that, like, you don't really know who's going to step up. Like, you don't really, like, Dodgers could go bullpen game. They've been going bullpen games. Yankees had Luis Hill, but they also went bullpen games. So it's basically like the first two are set. But after that, like, you don't really know. And then, both managers have gotten criticized heavily. Both managers, like, a lot of people were saying both should have been fired. Both were on the hot seat coming into this postseason. Yankees and Dodgers, they both hit a lot of home runs. Their bullpens, they are very unsettled. Blake Trinan has emerged as the closer for the Dodgers. Luke Weaver came out of nowhere. He's emerged as the closer for the Yankees after Clay Holmes lost his job. Like, both of these two teams are just like complete same images of each other, and that's why it's very fascinating to see who wins, because they're just both the same. And I can't wait for that matchup. I think for the Yankees, going into this series, it's about doing what the Mets couldn't, and that is you have to win a game against Flaherty or Yamamoto, because the Dodgers are probably going to go bullpen game maybe a couple of times. So you need to at least win one of those games when their set starter is pitching, or else, like, you're not going to be able to win this series. For the Dodgers, it's pretty much the same thing. You got to win a start that Garrett Cole starts. You got to steal one of those games, or Rodon starts. You got to steal one of those games, and you got to have big performances, from guys like the unsung heroes. Like, Aaron Judge has had a really quiet postseason. He's got to step up. It's World Series time, so he's got to step up. And also, Freddie Freeman is another guy. He's been out a lot. He's been injured. But Mookie and Shohei have kind of been shouldering the load. Shohei's kind of been very quiet a little bit, but I think I expect big series, Loro, from both Judge and Ohtani in this series, because this is basically a heavyweight fight that is going to determine legacies in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think legacies is going to define all this. I think the TV ratings are going to skyrocket. I think the Dodgers and Yankees giving us a World Series like we have this year is going to be so epic. Like you said last year, when the Rangers played the Diamondbacks in the World Series, the TV ratings for those went so low. But I know you must be happy that Bruce Bochy and Corey Seager helped the Rangers win their first ever World Series championship, which was about them. And the Rangers are a good baseball team when they're healthy.
Yeah, they are. And, it sucks that what happened this year happened, but the Rangers are going to be back. But, Loro, I want to get your, what do you think are, the early keys for the Dodgers to do to win this World Series?
Got to steal games that Rodon and Cole starts. I also think our pitching is going to do a great job containing Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton, because I think Giancarlo Stanton is going to be a big factor in this World Series, because Giancarlo Stanton, you don't want to pitch to him just because he's going to find a pitch that he's going to hit it out of the ballpark, because that's what he's known for. But Giancarlo Stanton strikes out a lot.
He does. And I think another key is keep the ball in the ballpark, because both of these two teams are capable of hitting home runs at any given time. And we know that. And this is what makes this World Series just so intriguing, is that, any given moment, any hitter on both of these two teams have a chance to change the game with one swing of the bat. Like, a lot of the times when you have World Series, like, you're like, okay, the bottom of the lineup, they probably can't do much. They're probably quiet. They're automatic outs. But with these two teams, it's like top to bottom, 1 through 9. Both of these two teams have guys that one swing of the bat, if the Dodgers are winning, then one swing of the bat, all of a sudden the Yankees are winning, or vice versa. The Yankees are winning, the Dodgers, one swing of the bat from one of their unsung heroes or from one of their stars in their lineup, they can change the game. And that's why this is just so intriguing, because both offenses are so good. Both have pitchers who are so good, but the bottom of the rotation is kind of questionable. So I think keeping the ball in the ballpark is definitely a big key for me going into this series.
Oh yeah, you got to keep the ball in the yard. I mean, both teams are very capable of doing that, and I think I think game 4, I was thinking that Yamamoto should pitch game 3 so that he starts in a potential game 7. And then games 1 and 2 should be Walker Buehler and Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, well, I think one of those two guys is gonna go. I think maybe that's tough because I could see Dave Rob. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing. Yamamoto's been pitching on extra rest. I mean, he's not, the schedule that he's been pitching on has been working for Yamamoto. So I'm kind of thinking that if he does pitch game 3, if he does, like, he could do what he did last time. He could just put Yamamoto for game 4.
That's true, but here, keep in mind this though. Remember, they're going to have both of these two teams are going to have extended rest going into this series. So, like, I think the Yankees they clinched yesterday. So the Yankees, because the series doesn't start until Friday, so the Yankees are basically going to have 6 days before they go. And the Dodgers, same thing. So both bullpens are going to be going to be fresh, ready to go. Both starting rotations are going to be ready to go. I mean, Loro, I could see Yamamoto actually starting game 1 because remember, he's going to have about, like, when's the last time he pitched? Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yeah, Yamamoto pitched game 4.
Okay. So, yeah, Yamamoto pitched game 4. So he pitched about a couple of days ago. So, yeah, when he goes into the series, he's going to have a full week of rest, like 7 days of rest going into game 1. So, you know, I don't know. I could see Roberts going him with game 1, and then after that, maybe he pitches like a game 5, or and then you maybe use him on short rest to go game 7. That way, you could have him like 3 times in this series rather than have him for 2.
Yeah, you're gonna need your ace pitchers to pitch. Yeah, because it's the World Series. Like, Yamamoto pitched 4 innings against the Mets, and then he pitched a tremendous game 5 against the Padres.
Yeah, he did. And I think for the Yankees, Laurel, I think you're probably going to agree with me. It's Garrett Cole. Like, it's got to be Garrett Cole in game 1. Like, it can't be anybody else. It has to be Garrett Cole game 1.
Because Clark Schmidt is just
Yeah, Clark Schmidt is Rodon is like, Rodon's got his moments, but he's still a very good pitcher. And then I think after that, like Luis Hill, you can't pitch him game 1 because he's a rookie. So like you need a guy to set the tone. So it's got to be the guy who you signed to a 9-year, like $300+ million contract that you expected him to do it. So it's got to be Garrett Cole in game 1.
Yeah, and then even though he has an opt-out clause, I don't think he's leaving the Bronx.
No, I don't think he's leaving the Bronx at all. But I
think Soto's going to stay there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially after they just went to the World Series. If they win the World Series, like he's gonna be etched in Yankees like greatness forever. Like Judge, Soto, they're all gonna be like in Yankees greatness forever. And this is why like I love like both of these two teams going to the World Series, is because people have doubted Ohtani. Like people have doubted Judge. Judge was a guy that was known for like always like was a great regular season player, but we didn't know how he was gonna do in the postseason because he always came up short. But now he's gone to the World Series, so like that really helps cement his legacy. But Laura, if I had to ask you, what is one? If you had to give me like one player that needs to come out of nowhere, like that's not one of the stars, but it's like one of the supporting cast members that has to be like that unsung hero in this series for the Dodgers to win this series. And you can give one for the Yankees as well. Like who do you think it is?
What's your question again?
So, I mean, you could take time to think about it, but if you had to give me one player from both the Dodgers and the Yankees that have to step up, that's not a superstar or not a big-time player on both of these two teams, that has to step up in this series for the team to win it, who it's going to be? For me, I'm going to go first with the Yankees. I think the guy that I'm looking at for this series is Anthony Volpe. And the reason why is because, a lot of people, Anthony Anthony Volpe was hyped up a lot. He was, a lot of people said he might be the next Derek Jeter. Well, you're playing the shortstop position, and Derek Jeter stepped up in the World Series, and he shined like a superstar and a legend. Like, if Volpe's got to step up because he's one of the guys at the top of the lineup that sets the tone for Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, he's got to get on base. If he can get on base and, be productive, I think that he will be able to lead the Yankees to a World Series win, and he's got to play some great defense at shortstop because we know the Dodgers always hit the ball hard up the middle, so especially with their hitters. So Volpe, I think, is a big piece to the Yankees winning, and I think he has to be that unsung hero for the Yankees to win the World Series. And for the Dodgers, if I had to give one, honestly, I'm gonna say Will Smith because he's been very quiet this postseason. The catcher, he's been very quiet. I think that now it's the World Series. You gotta provide production outside of your superstars like Shohei and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. So I'm gonna go with Will Smith and Anthony Volpe. How about you?
I'm gonna go Anthony Volpe, the Yankees, like you, and then for the Dodgers, I'm gonna pick Andy Pajic because Andy Pajic can be an unsung hero in the World Series. He can hit left-handed pitching. So when Rodon's on the mound, you're going to see him in the lineup for that.
Right. So that's why I could see that with Pajes, especially if the Dodgers want to steal one of the games, like we mentioned, that Cole or Rodon has to start. So he's definitely going to be a big part, especially against Cole, because Cole sometimes struggles against left-handed hitters, and that's one of his weaknesses. So I could definitely see that. But Loro, if you had to give me like an early prediction of the World Series and how you can give me like a prediction of the series and how do you think Game 1 is gonna go? Give me an early prediction. Who do you got? Dodgers, Yankees, and how many games?
I have the Dodgers beating the Yankees in 7 games because I don't think it's gonna be like the Mets series where it ends in 6, where people think it is. But I'm probably envisioning that the 3 games at Yankee Stadium, it's going to be a 50-50 split where I think the Dodgers and Yankees both win games. Like the Dodgers will win like games 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that. I think the Dodgers, they could go up 3-1 and then the Yankees force the game 6 back in LA. I could see it that way, but I have Dodgers in 7.
I got Dodgers in 7 too. I think the Dodgers lineup is just too deep for the Yankees. Like the Yankees have a really good lineup, but I don't trust their pitchers outside of Garrett Cole to not blow it. And I think that lineup is just so deep for the Dodgers. The Yankees have a really deep lineup, but I think the Dodgers lineup is deeper than the Yankees. I think their bullpen is a little bit better than the Yankees, especially like outside of Luke Weaver. Like, who's the guy that's going to give Aaron Boone some shutdown innings? Like, you don't really know. Clay Holmes has struggled. Other people have struggled as well. Tommy Kahnle's been like in this in the postseason thus far. So I got to go with the Dodgers. I'm going to go Dodgers in 7. I think that, Dodgers win Game 1, Yankees win Game 2, and then I think like it's going to be evenly split. But in a Game 7, if you had to, I think it goes to Game 7. I think in Game 7, what happens is it's going to be Yamamoto versus Garrett Cole. It's going to be a pitcher's duel into the 7th inning. And I think the Dodgers offense squeak out a couple of runs against that vulnerable Yankees bullpen. And I think the Dodgers end up winning in a very close, very tight, very intense 7-game series.
I really could see that. I mean, the Dodgers might do a bullpen game or 2 in this series, but I'm trying to figure out if Yamamoto starts Game 1, he probably won't be available to pitch until Game 7.
Oh, that's right, because there's 3 games in New York. So yeah, because it's games 1, 2, then they have an off day, and then they have 3, 4, and 5 in New York in the Bronx, and then they have an off day, and then Game 6. I mean, I could see. I mean, it depends. Like if Dave Roberts in this series, I think with Yamamoto, look, I know he's coming from Japan. I know he's pitched, hasn't pitched a lot this season, like on short rest. But I think Loro, like, to be honest, I think all options have to be on the table, because I think if you get to a game 7, right, it's the World Series. Like, it's game 7. Like, it's either you win the World Series or you go home and you lose the World Series. So I think if it goes to game 7, let's say Yamamoto's only on 3 days of rest, I think if you're Dave Roberts, I think you have to push him to do it, because I think that, you get only a chance at the World Series like every single year, and it doesn't come handily for the World Series.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, like, how are they going to do the Yamamoto rest thing? Because if he starts Monday, then he will probably still have plenty of rest.
Yeah, he'll definitely have plenty of rest, but we'll see, man. But if you had to give me the World Series MVP prediction, who you got?
Shohei Ohtani. He's probably gonna shine in the biggest moment. I think he's gonna hit 5 or 6 home runs. He'll be like the second Japanese-born player to win that award since Hideki Matsui.
I love the pick, but I don't know why I have this sneaky feeling that Freddie Freeman is going to come back in this series, and he's going to have a big part of this, and he's going to, announce his presence to the Yankees. And remember, he shines in the biggest moments on the biggest stage. So it's definitely going to be a fun World Series. Dodgers, Yankees start Friday, game number 1. It's going to be fun. You have 2 iconic franchises in baseball going at it, possibly the 2 most iconic franchises in all of sports going at it. Shohei versus Judge, Mookie, Freeman. You've got Soto, like, you've got star power on both sides. And then you have LA versus New York. You have the Bronx Yankee Stadium versus Dodger Stadium, 2 iconic stadiums. Like, it's going to be epic, man. I can't wait for it. Loro, man, it's been a great show. Congratulations to your Dodgers once again on going to the World Series, man. It's going to be a fun World Series. What's your final thoughts for this little quick emergency show that we have tonight?
I'm going to say here that I think that even though the Mets lost this series, I know they'll be back, but the Braves are going to be so much healthier when they get Acuna and a fully healthy Albies and Riley. The Braves are a dangerous team in the NL East. The Phillies are probably going to be right up there again, but the Mets will be back.
Yeah, definitely. The Mets are definitely going to be back. I can't wait for that NL East division, man, Loro. If that's going to be, I think next year when you look at baseball, I think that's going to be one of the best divisions in all of baseball, because you have the Braves, when healthy, they're really good. The Mets, what they did this season was amazing. And then the Phillies, they still have star power. Like, even though they choked in the postseason, I don't trust them in the postseason, but regular season, they are a really, really good dynamic team in the regular season.
They are. But Isaiah, you have a good night, man.
All right, Loro, man, appreciate you for coming on. But, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Dodgers, Yankees, epic World Series. Here we go, man. We're going to do a Dodgers-Yankees preview show maybe in the coming week, but it's going to be fun. But appreciate everybody for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys back on here in the coming days for Dodgers-Yankees preview show. Have a great night, everybody.
Here's the 1-2. Thomas, fly ball right field. Who else should end this game than that man right there? Juan Soto puts it away, and the New York Yankees have won the American League pennant.
Explode on the verge of making it all happen. There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers, Yankees in the Fall Classic.